Welcome to Rick's Corner. I have another friend since I'm up here in Bakersfield.
That makes two friends, yeah.
I got two friends. My old stomping grounds and where I kind of like grew up a little bit and made knowledge of the things I had around me is Ben Harmon. Now Ben and I go back to the YMCA, where I first started working out with bent barbells and cables that broke and cut my stomach and broke
squat racks that would fall out of the wall, and
yeah, my God,
not squat racks.
I remember the bench
press.
The bench press bar had a big bow in it.
We had to turn it over
every time you'd go to press it, it would go like this on you. But we got our workouts in, and Ben was in really good shape, and I was getting there. And we worked out hard. I think we were in the Y almost every day, right?
We were. Sometimes I think we overtrained. You know, we had 3.5-hour workouts. I don't know if that was appropriate, but boy, we would.
Well, we had nothing else to do. We had no friends.
No, just each other.
Just each other. And back then, the diet was different than now. I remember that I wanted to get big. I was 145 pounds.
We ate bulk up meals.
We did.
A lot of milk.
3 quarts of milk a day. And it gave me a lot of gas.
A lot of gas.
My mom was calling Roto-Rooter all the time. What the hell are you eating and stopping up the toilet like that? It's the 3 quarts of milk a day and all the meat I'm eating at bedtime. But that's the way we trained back then.
Bulk up.
Bulk up.
A lot of protein, a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And the YMCA, like I said, it had broken bars, and the thing, I used to go there at night at 10 o'clock sometimes. I actually had a job, and they would turn the lights out at 11, said you got to go home. I work out in the dark. But that's what I wanted to do. Now, at that time, we were both in school, right?
Yes. We met like about 63, I think.
Okay. And you were working part-time at the miniature golf course?
I was at the miniature golf course, and I would ride my motor scooter to the Y. Before that, my dad had built me an old bench in the garage, put up a cooler for me, and when I got that scooter, then I was out to the big time. We were off to the Y.
Something with a motor.
Yeah, something with a motor.
Man, I like that.
Freedom.
Yeah, well, I graduated from the Y, and I went to, I'll go back to the Y in a minute, but I went over to Babe's gym to train because I thought that was a better gym.
I went there a few times with you.
But the only problem was I couldn't afford membership. So I said to Babe, what can I do? You can train here for free. And that's the deal I made with him. And I remember I got my name on the first bench press of 300.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then I got the 400, which was really kind of good. And it was a decent gym.
We were working out there upstairs, and we would all stand at the window and look down at the street and make fun of cars and people.
Make fun of everybody who walked by that we made fun of.
Everything they were doing in their cars.
Exactly. But it was a gym that had men's day and then had a separate women's day, which they don't have anymore. And I used to tell him about that, and he says, no, I just want to keep it this way. It's just the way it's going to work. But going back to the YMCA, I wanted to step on this. I had gotten into pro wrestling, and Mae Young was training me.
I remember that. You were going down to the Olympic Auditorium.
Exactly. And I was going down like 4 or 5 days a week, training upstairs in her gym. And I wanted you guys to get involved. And so I would come back, and we'd go into the other room in the Y where they had the gymnastics mats.
Yes.
And we'd work on holes and take bumps. Yes. And the mats would separate.
And drop kicks, front face locks, snap mares, the monkey flip. I remember you would do the monkey flip with me. Of course, I was the lighter one. I know I felt like I would go 6 feet in the air sometimes on that. And then I said, am I going to hit okay? Am I going to hit right? And
that was so much fun.
Yes.
But it was fun. I remember Brad Metters, I talked to him about coming down and training with me, and he said he would. He went down to Mae's one day, and his wife left him. She said, if you go, I'm leaving you. And she left. She left him. That's it. I'm not going to be married to you if you're going to train for wrestling with Rick. Well, he had to go back and patch his marriage up, and he moved the very week up to San Jose to save his marriage. She was so mad at me and so mad at him for wanting to become a wrestler.
Yes.
Well, they buried the hatchet, and I went up and stayed with him, and now he's doing fine, and he still writes to me. But she did not want him being a wrestler.
Yeah, we had a couple of the guys in there. One real crude guy. I don't know if we should say this on the air, but Jim Riccomini, just a big old strong, reminded me of an old country boy.
Exactly.
You know, kind of crude, but great guy, very strong.
Yeah, I remember him. Were you in on the thing when we went out to Lake Ming and we put on that fake fight?
That was you, Terry Moore, and me.
All right.
It started with Terry Moore and I over by the trash cans. We started doing something, and I threw the trash can at him.
Right.
And you came over to see what was going on, and we started throwing some punches at that point.
Right.
And somehow you were kind enough to let me get you in a front face lock, and I did a knee lift on you. And I wasn't so drunk that I did remember to turn your face sideways and bring my knee up against my own hands.
Right.
And you were the greatest. You threw your head back, slung a little spit, and that separated us enough where the sheriffs came in.
But the sheriffs didn't want to come in.
No, they didn't come in until there was enough space between us.
Right. They were afraid. They heard there's pro wrestlers out there fighting. We don't want to break the fight up.
Yes.
That was fun. And Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We stepped back and we looked, and there was about a 40-foot diameter ring of people standing there, and that was when the cops got us and took me into the concession stand. And
yep, I remember that very well. And then years went by, and I moved to LA in '69, and I started training, and I trained down there with Arnold and all the guys in Venice, and I kept in touch with some people. We didn't have email then, but when we started to get, I started keeping in touch.
Yes.
And then I came up and I went to the Veterans Hall where I used to play in the band, and we had a wrestling match there. And you came.
I came.
And at the end of the match, you wanted to jump in the ring.
I did.
No, you just couldn't hold back.
Nope.
And I think you stiffed me with a couple of punches.
No, you. I didn't quite know what to do, so you told me to take a punch.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
Oh, God.
We did the lockup, and my mind locked up. So you said take a punch, and
that's what it was.
You gave me a good forearm, and I hit the floor.
Oh, yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. I'll ask you, what I asked Denny, did you ever think that I would take bodybuilding or pro wrestling to the limit that I did?
I knew you would stick with the bodybuilding. I didn't really think you would follow through with the pro wrestling. I just thought that was too much involved, too much time. You always seemed like a guy that wanted to get things done quick.
Yeah.
But yes, I was really amazed at that. I was proud of you for doing that.
Well, thank you.
But,
well, it's you can get a lot of things done if you want to, because wrestling was at night, and it allowed me during the day to still bodybuild, and it also allowed me to go on commercial auditions and lay on the beach and have a lifestyle that I always wanted. And it's almost, people ask me today about getting into wrestling. Is it hard? It's really hard to get into. It's really hard. Back when I did it, it wasn't easy either. But you had old timers who took a liking to you, and they would train with you and get you in. And if you had a good look and what they'd take, they'd work with you. Today, it's like a cookie cutter mold, and you have to pass all these different requirements. You got to be 6'2", 225. You've got to have all this stuff going for you before they'll even look at you.
Exactly.
And then it's just crazy out there. Bodybuilding goes on and on and on, and it's gone to different levels, and it's really out of control now with the 300-pound guys that are ripped and all the stuff they're taking. But it's good to stay in shape, and I think it's important too. But you can do anything if you want to. You just have to divide your time. But thank God I never had to work 8 to 5. And I was able to do what I wanted. It's very rare that you can do that.
There's many benefits to bodybuilding and staying in shape in general. For instance, I have a bad back. I have a degenerative disc disease, and I've had 5 spinal operations. And one of my first questions with the doctor was, did I hurt myself lifting weights? He says, no, you have a degenerative disc problem. He said, had you not been in shape, had you not been strong, you might have had this surgery 20 years ago, 15 years ago. He said, because of your strength and condition and your bone density, you got another 10 years out of this before you had to have surgery.
Oh, I totally believe that. I mean, I've had numerous injuries with wrestling. My rotator, my left shoulder is completely crapped out. My right knee is completely gone. But working out every day keeps me loose. If I don't do that, if I take Sundays off, and on Sundays I feel lousy. I'm so used to moving all the time that I can't take that time just to rest, because it just makes me feel terrible. So there's benefits to it, and there's benefits to diet. I've changed my whole diet since I moved out of here, of course, and I was training down in Venice, because it's a different way of thinking with bodybuilding nowadays. It's the high protein, low carb, and take your greens, and I do the fish oil and all that kind of stuff for health and arteries, and which I didn't think about before. But it's really important. But the main thing is to stay in touch with your old friends like you and Tim and Denny, and be able to reminisce about stuff and talk about what things were and where they are today, because it gives you better insight of what's going on in this world. All right.
Well, I still have a couple of chipped teeth from our episodes in the YMCA. We used to get in trouble once in a while for knocking the plaster off the ceiling under us.
I know. Those floors were ready to cave in.
Yes.
Well, okay. Thank you, Ben.
All right.
This has been a real pleasure.
Good to see you again.
It's good to see you, and maybe we can get that one more time in the ring. And my feeling is, at our age, you want to plan your match carefully. So I think we should lock up, take it home, and that's the match. Just a lock up.
Yeah.
Nothing in between.
I can do that still.
Yeah. You got a good beginning, a good ending, and the middle is real short.
Real short, yes.
There you go. Okay, until next time on Rick's Corner, guys, you got it. Stay tuned. Thank you.